Oh yeah, what up? This is my Ring of Honor Proven Ground DVD review. The opening match was Eddie Edwards and Pelle Primeau versus the YRR of Jason Blade and Kenny King. This was actually a decent opener, a little better than what I was actually thinking it would be. And it's actually a decent overall match. Good back and forth action, like I said. And the YRR come up with the victory after Jason Blade and Kenny King hit this Dominator kind of neck breaker combination to Pelle Primeau for the victory. So Jason Blade pins him in about a 2 1/4 star match. Pretty decent match. Then the next matchup was a women's match between Alexa Thatcher and Daizee Haze. And this is actually a decent women's match. One was actually, it wasn't good, it wasn't terrible, it was just a decent match between these two. You saw some good stuff from Daizee Haze. The end of the match comes when Daizee Haze hits the heart punch, Yakuza kick into a mind trip combination to pin Alexa Thatcher. About a 2-star match. Some of it was actually a pretty good match. Then the next match was Ruckus versus Claudio Castagnoli. This was a decent match. It started off a little slow, then it started to pick up. Claudio Castagnoli is one of those guys that do a great job with smaller guys and make them look real good. Ruckus did some good stuff in here, Claudio did some good stuff in here too. Good back and forth action. Problem I have with this, the ending came out of nowhere. It was just Claudio hit a bicycle kick and pinned Ruckus for the victory, so that really hurt the match. But you saw some good overall stuff in this match. I would say about 2.5 stars. You did see some good overall stuff in here. Then up next was Sweet and Sour Incorporated come out, and this was Larry Sweeney got on the mic, said Chris Hero is not able to compete in action tonight, so Daniel Puder is basically going to have an open challenge to anyone in the back. This leads to Claudio Castagnoli coming out here. Larry Sweeney says, no, that's not going to happen. I got a restraining order against him, so get him to the back. And this just leads to Mikey Bennett, somewhat of a Ring of Honor pre-show jobber, to come out here, and Daniel Puder just defeats him real quick. Just a squash match. He beats him with a leg lock submission. 1-star match at best. Then after this is the match of the night, at least in my opinion, with Bryan Danielson and Brent Albright. This was a tremendous match, some good back and forth action, a lot of good mat work, a lot of good technical work. Saw some good intensity from both of these two. Really enjoyed this match, and this be the one match that I will say, if you're a fan of Bryan Danielson and if you're a fan of Brent Albright, which I'm a fan of both of them, then you might want to check this DVD out. Other than that, I don't know if I would recommend this DVD, but this was a very good match between the two. The way the match ends is Brent Albright gets put into the triangle choke submission hold. Bryan Danielson hits him with his repeated elbows, and then he ends up tapping out. So Bryan Danielson is the winner. Very tremendous match, about 3 3/4 stars. I enjoyed it that much. Then the next matchup was Kevin Steen versus Necro Butcher in a street fight. This is just a typical street fight with Necro Butcher. Nothing special, but it was a good overall street fight. Saw some good stuff from Kevin Steen in this match. Kevin Steen is a tremendous talent that I see a lot of good stuff from him, possibly a future Ring of Honor World Champion, and him and El Generico definitely need to be the next Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, or at least get the tag straps sometime this year, I would say. You saw some stiff punches from Necro Butcher in this match. Kevin Steen hit his sweet Swanton bomb onto Necro Butcher. The match ends with Necro Butcher getting put into a package pile driver from Kevin Steen onto a chair. So Kevin Steen comes up with the victory. About a 3-star match. Saw some good stuff in here, but I thought these two could have possibly pulled a better match off, but still it was a little enjoyable. Then after this, Kevin Steen just does a promo after this, talking about, I guess, him and El Generico. El Generico's match coming up next, and make sure he stays safe and stuff. Nothing much with this promo at all. Then the next matchup is Sour Nara versus Delirious, and this was a match that started off terrible and ended terrible. It wasn't a good match at all. This was a complete dud. I'll give this match a 1.5 stars, and the only reason why it's not getting a 1 star is I saw Delirious was trying his best to make Sour Nara look good, but he couldn't quite do it. Delirious comes up with the victory after putting him into the Cobra stretch submission hold, and Sournow taps out in a very, very terrible match. Then the next matchup was El Generico versus Roderick Strong. And in this match, it started off a little slow and methodical, then started to pick up. But the one thing I was expecting a whole lot more from this match, because I've seen these two wrestle each other in different promotions and tag matches and singles matches, so I was expecting a whole lot more from this. But it did have some good stuff in it from El Generico. He got in his stuff. Roderick Strong did a lot of his chops, backbreaker combinations. The match ends with him hitting the gut buster to El Generico, then hitting the Gibson driver for the victory. About a 2 3/4 star match. I was just looking I thought this match could have been a little better, but still, for what it was actually a decent match. Then up next was the FIP heavyweight title match between Austin Aries and Eric Stevens. And this was another match that was very good. Good back and forth action. Two former members of the Resilience, so this is basically two former partners taking on each other. So this was very good. Enjoyed it a whole lot. Austin Aries did good stuff in here. Eric Stevens did a lot of his power maneuvers. Really enjoy both these guys, and I'm a fan of both of them. The way this match first ends is you see Eric Stevens in the crowd. Austin Aries does a dive, and both of them, due to the FIP rule, which is a 20 count on the floor, they both don't get in the ring by the 20 count. So it's first ruled a double count out, but Eric Stevens then gets on the mic saying, no, we're not going to end it like that. I want to be a fighting champion. I want to go out here and actually give what the fans what they want. And that's what they want is a winner. So the match gets restarted. At first you see Austin Aries try to hit the brainbuster real early. Eric Stevens reverses it. Then Austin Aries ends up finally hitting the brainbuster. Then going up to hitting the 450. Eric Stevens blocks it with his knees. Then you see at the end of this, Eric Stevens coming up with a victory by hitting a sick lariat to Austin Aries, then hitting his Dr. Bomb for the victory to still, at the time of this DVD, to be the FIP heavyweight champion in a very good match. I would say about 3.5 stars. I was tempted to get 3 3/4, but I thought that might be giving it a little too much. But I did enjoy this match a lot. Then up next was the ultimate endurance match for the ROH World Tag Team titles. This included the Hangman's 3 of Brent Albright and BJ Whitmer, the Vulture Squad of Jack Evans and Jigsaw, the Briscoe Brothers, and the Age of the Fall of Jimmy Jacobs and Tyler Black. And the way the rules of this were is it was elimination rules. The first fall would be a scramble tag, which meant no tags are necessary. The second fall would be a no DQ match. And the third and deciding fall between the last two teams would be for the ROH World Tag Team titles. Started off really fast-paced with the scramble tag portion of it. Obviously, you saw Jack Evans and Jigsaw get in some high-flying maneuvers. So this first fall didn't last that long. Let me see. Let me look this over. Yeah, the first fall ends with Albright pinning Jigsaw, so that eliminates the Vulture Squad. Then it starts off with the no DQ portion of the second fall with 3 teams left. And the mark-out moment of this match was when you saw the Age of the Fall and the Hangman's 3 attacking the Briscoe Brothers. And during one portion, you see BJ Whitmer and Jimmy Jacobs have a stare down. You know, basically foreseeing their feud that they had. And you see Jimmy Jacobs pull out a railroad spike. Then you see BJ Whitmer do the same thing. You thought they were about to hit each other. But Jimmy Jacobs basically said, let's just get rid of the Briscoes as quick as we can, and then we'll finish what we have with each other for the ROH World Tag Team titles. So at that point, you see them get apart, and you see them attack the Briscoe Brothers. Briscoe Brothers both get busted open real bad. And then later in the portion, you see BJ Whitmer end up attacking the Age of the Fall and hitting an exploder to Tyler Black from the ring to the floor. And it ends with this fall ends with the Briscoes and BJ Whitmer in the ring. Briscoes were double teaming him. Jay hits a direct J Driller to him. Then you see Mark outside the ring with a huge ladder, climbed up the ladder that was placed on the floor, jumped to the ring, with a big splash, and that eliminated the Hangman's 3. And then the last fall was the Age of the Fall of Tyler Black and Jimmy Jacobs versus the Briscoe brothers. And just like you would think, these two worked very good with each other. This was a very good overall match from start to finish, and enjoyed it a lot. You saw some good stuff from Tyler Black and Tyler Black in this match, and Jimmy Jacobs and the Briscoes. These two teams work very good with each other. The Age of the Fall come up with a victory after Tyler Black hits the Phoenix Splash for the victory. And the Age of the Fall at this DVD are the tag team champions, and I would say about a 3.5 star match. Overall, I would give the DVD about a 7.75. A show I would say is worth checking out, but not a show I would say that's worth going out your way to seeing, but you will enjoy it, especially if you're a fan of Brent Albright and Bryan Danielson. You will get it just for that match because I enjoyed it that much. Oh yeah, what up? This is my Ring of Honor Proven Ground DVD review. The opening match was Eddie Edwards and Pelle Primeau versus the YRR of Jason Blade and Kenny King. This was actually a decent opener, a little better than what I was actually thinking it would be. And it's actually a decent overall match. Good back and forth action, like I said. And the YRR come up with the victory after Jason Blade, I'll say about 2.5 stars. You did see some good overall stuff in here. Then up next was Sweet and Sour Incorporated come out, and this was Larry Sweeney got on the mic, said Chris Hero is not able to compete in action tonight, so Daniel Peter is basically going to have an open challenge to anyone in the back. This leads to Claudio Castagnoli coming out here. Larry Sweeney says, no, that's not going to happen. I got a restraining order. Terrible. It was just a decent match between these two. Saw some good stuff from Daizee Haze. The end of the match comes when Daizee Haze hits the heart punch, Yakuza kick into a mind trip combination to pin Alexa Thatcher. About a 2-star match. Some of it was actually a pretty good match. Then the next match was Ruckus versus Claudio Castagnoli. This was a decent match. It started off a little slow, then it started to pick up. Claudio Castagnoli is one of those guys that do a great job with smaller guys and make them look real good. Ruckus did some good stuff in here, Claudio did some good stuff in here too. Good back and forth action. Problem I have with this, the ending came out of nowhere. It was just Claudio hit a bicycle kick and pinned Ruckus for the victory, so that really hurt the match, but you saw some good overall stuff in this match. And Kenny King hit this Dominator kind of neck breaker combination to Pelle Primeau for the victory, so Jason Blade pins him in about a 2 1/4 star match. Pretty decent match. Then the next matchup was a women's match between Alexa Thatcher and Daizee Haze, and this is actually a decent women's match. One was actually, it wasn't good, it wasn't